Well, the margins in our home states more heavily favored Trump than they did in 2020. John Diaz and Jenna Webster are breaking down that red shift.
Donald Trump's win marks only the third time since 1988 that a Republican has won the popular vote. And Jenna, you have been tracking this red shift across the country, and we are seeing that in both of our home states.
Yeah, it's definitely been a really big topic since last night. New York Times put together this map. All these arrows show the shift from the margin in 2020, and it's just an incredible visual to look at how much of it shifted Republican, especially in Iowa. Every single one of our counties shifted Republican compared to what it did in 2020.
I would have imagined that could have just stayed the same and it still would have been sort of a similar result.
And we were talking about, it's really interesting in Iowa because we had that Des Moines Register poll that came out, and a lot of people did not think that Harris was actually going to win Iowa like that poll predicted, but she had been gaining on Trump from where Biden was. Over the summer, Biden was trailing behind him by an 18-point lead. When you look, 98% has been counted so far, but that lead is larger than what he won it by in 2020 and 2016. And for the first time in recent years, in data that we can find, Scott County was flipped.
Let's talk a little bit about how Trump's performance impacted Miller Meeks.
Yeah, there's been a lot of talk about the Senate and the House races and if Trump kind of helped Republicans there. It's too early to tell right now in the Miller Meeks Christina Bohannon race. Right now, it's very, very close. But what we're looking at is that with Scott County right now, 51.2% are going for Donald Trump. But it appears that Scott County is splitting the ticket for Christina Bohannon. She's in the lead right now there with 51.1% of the vote. You see, she has about 44,000 votes. I believe Trump had about 45,000.
And if we look at Illinois and Harris's performance there, she obviously took the state. However, some interesting notes here.
Yeah, again, very much a red shift. Even in Rock Island County, we saw about a 2.5 shift towards the Republicans there. If we go back to Iowa, Illinois, there's some interesting things on here. We were talking about up in the Rockford area. This county went to Biden last time. Very, very close right now for Donald Trump. Even in the Chicago area, outside of Chicago in Will County, this is a county that Biden won by about 8 points. Kamala Harris is only winning there by 0.7%. The state, the last three elections, has been won by a Democrat by about 17 points. Harris right now only with an 8-point lead there.
Yeah, and we talked to our political expert, and he says this is matching a broader trend.
It's not just that red states continue to vote red and that battleground states voted red. It's also that some of these dyed-in-the-wool blue states, right, these reliably Democratic states, made huge shifts to the right. You brought up Illinois. I was also looking at New Jersey, right? Here's a state that consistently the Democratic presidential candidate wins by 10, 15, 20%. And Kamala Harris likely will win it by single digits. Minnesota, right, the home state of the vice presidential nominee for the Democratic Party, Tim Walz. Kamala Harris is going to win Minnesota by a small number, right, single digits as well.
Now, locally, Iowa's 1st District is yet to be called with a neck-and-neck race between Marionette Miller Meeks and Christina Bohannon.